Oh my god, you're BKN!
I'll be honest with you.
Is that how we're gonna play sound effects?
Yeah, that's
Sweet. Well, welcome to the
I
BKN
don't know.
podcast where I forgot what the intro is, so we're just gonna go in like this. Cool. Um, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, I think.
Doing pretty well.
Nothing weird happened in the last 2 months, right? Everything's been perfectly normal.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. We always did online things like this, you know. We never did them in person, no.
No.
No, never.
I don't even know you guys. I don't even know what you guys look like.
Who am I? What's happening? Also, I should apologize because my desk is against the wall. So
Mm.
I have to put my camera here, but my computer is this way. So you're going to see me moving a lot. Because I
All right.
literally don't have an option.
That's fair.
So, how's the last 2 months been? Brandon, you saw first.
Really boring. I mean, trying to keep myself busy, but there's only so much you can do. It just starts feeling repetitive after a while.
Nick, how's your 2 months been?
Filled with games and yeah, that's about it. Haven't done anything.
I surprisingly have a lot that's happened.
I mean, you're the only one that's been out in the public.
Yeah, so, as we talked about already, I work for the post office, and everybody's home, and with stimulus checks going out, everybody's been shopping online. So instead of doing 50 packages a day, I've been averaging 120 packages a day, on top of my mail I have to deliver. And there was one week in particular where one guy was home sick with food poisoning. Two people had scheduled vacations they planned like 8 months ago, and then somebody has a respiratory issue and a heart condition. So if they get COVID-19, they're basically dead. So he's been home for like 3 months. So that one week I was coming in at 7 a.m., leaving at
Mm.
7 p.m., doing my mail route, packages, and two additional things. So I've been working like mad. Then at one point, my mom got sick with what we think was COVID-19, but we don't actually know. So she had some symptoms. Then she had a slight
Mm.
fever. And then it hit her like a freight train. So basically, she had no respiratory stuff, which is the real serious thing. So thankfully, she didn't have any of that. It was basically loss of appetite. So because she had no appetite, she stopped eating. So she got weak. And then she lost like 15 pounds in like 2 weeks. So that was bad.
Wow.
But
Damn.
then one day it just stopped and went away, and she was okay. But while she was homesick, I had to stay home, so I didn't work for like 2.5, 3 weeks. And for those like 3 weeks I was home, by the start of the third week, I was like ripping out my hair, just like like I was losing my mind. So like I can't even imagine like you guys have been stuck
Yeah.
home for like a while. Katie's been home for like over 2 months now because she works at Brookdale Community College. They've been like shut down, and
Yeah.
all her schooling for NJCU was online, but she actually just finished NJCU, so she's done, like, which is awesome. Don't know when her graduation's gonna be because that got postponed. But like, yeah, so I was not working for 3 weeks. My mom probably had COVID-19. Then when I came back, it was an avalanche of work to do. Uh, and then my ankle's been hurting for like 2 weeks straight.
Jeez.
And then in the process, besides playing a lot more video games, I launched a podcast network, which
That's
I
right. Yeah.
which I guess I could talk about it because I've talked about it briefly on the other two shows I have now. So basically, I launched the GeekLegion Network, which if you follow me on Facebook, which you probably, if you're watching this, you probably do. I've been posting,
Hopefully.
hopefully, if not, fuck you, and you can die. Um,
You don't matter.
you don't matter to me, and you can die. And basically, I've been wanting to do something like this for years actually. like 2014. I've been wanting to do like videos and podcasts and stuff, but I never had the push to like really do it. And then when we didn't do a podcast for like 2 months, I'm like, okay, like I really gotta like I gotta do something. Like I had an itch. So then I decided now is the time. So basically, the end game is to have a lot of different shows cover a bunch of different topics, not just sports ball. Like we kind of do sports and whatever we want because that's what we do. But one of my shows is about computers and technology. I do with my friend Anthony. Another one's all about the Eagles because I'm a fucking nerd. Um, I want to have stuff on like music, movies, TV shows, books, a lot of different stuff I don't even like know yet. I have ideas, things in the plans and stuff. Um, I'm basically just starting small for now because it's basically me.
Mm.
So like I don't know what I'm doing, but I guess I'll figure it out. I guess so. Um, so you'll see more shows pop up over the next few months, I guess. I found my second microphone, my AT2020,
Oh,
which
nice.
I couldn't find it. It was in my file cabinet because I have a IKEA desk and I have a filing cabinet that holds up my computer, which I can show you. So there's my computer, and it's sitting on a filing cabinet, and wedged at the bottom of the oh, that's if I show you anything else in my room, by the way, you just see like clothes and cables, and it's like chaos.
I
So
mean, I kind of have to squint. No offense.
I know
You're in a small little
that is
rectangle.
true. Actually, I kind of didn't even think about that. Well, basically, imagine a file cabinet. You know what it looks like.
Okay.
And this was wedged at the bottom of it. So I found it because me and Katie have been wanting to do podcasts on I don't know what, but we just been wanting to do something. And I'm like, I just need to get a second microphone. And I'm like, I know I have one, but I can't find it. And I found it. So we'll probably do stuff.
Is it a USB one or?
No, it's actually XLR.
Oh, okay.
So I had my Scarlett 2i2 I got from Guitar Center, and then I
Hmm.
put it away because I just don't have the space for my studio monitors. But
No,
now,
that's the one I sold you.
yes, it's the
That's
one.
right.
That's the one you sold me.
That's right.
I think that was actually the day I came in to. I bought it, and then I think I talked to Mitch about
Hmm.
putting. I either put in my 2 weeks that day, or it was a little bit after. I don't remember.
It might have been a little bit after. I know you traded some stuff and you also ordered some things. I think it was after.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, because I remember you trading some stuff in and then you put it towards the Scarlet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like old microphones I had.
Hmm.
Which ironically, I have a friend who needs some. So if I did get rid of them, I would have given it to my friend Jeff. But oops.
It's all right.
He could buy his own cheap ass Samsung microphones for like $20.
It's true.
Um, yeah. So I guess that's really been me for the last 2 months. Um, oh look at that. I'm triggered so bad right now. Yeah. Well, look what I'm drinking. Look at this.
Some Jose Cuervo margarita mix.
My drink's upstairs.
I know my screen is small, Brandon, but can you see this? Can
Definitely.
come on? Can you see this?
Hang on. Let me. It's gotta. Yeah.
You know what's funny? So like all these people are home now using Zoom for like video calls and stuff, and like
Mhm.
Zoom and I think Skype they have like software buttons you can click to like blur your background, and it's like
Yeah.
oh look how cool that is. And I'm like yeah look at this I can focus my camera and I could do it this way. Look I can
I
make
was about to say, there goes Nick.
like I know it's tough to see me because my little window's small, but basically if I just click this, basically this is what I see when I don't have glasses on. I just see blur. This is professional. We're professional right now.
Like,
God, we're dumb.
not that hard.
Okay.
Plus, I think this actually works better than Zoom, from what I've seen.
Zoom also is kind of a train wreck in terms of security.
Yeah.
It was actually made for like
Made
enterprise
by
use.
Capital One.
It was made for like enterprise and businesses. But then when everybody was forced to work at home, they were like, "Oh crap! How do we do this but for like as little money as possible?" And then everybody's like, "Oh hey, Zoom is a thing. Let's use that." So Zoom went from like being used by like 10 million users to like 200 million users in the span of a month. So Zoom is like, "Oh god, what do we do?"
That's how I feel about the people that still use MySpace instead of Facebook.
I remember
I don't like Facebook.
I had a profile for a thing called Friendster
Mm,
back, I think, in like, God, I was in middle school. So like,
sure, it wasn't Napster.
no, I was Friendster. In
Yeah,
like
no,
in like 2004,
Leapster.
I think. I think so. I think it was
I
something like
had a
that.
Leapster.
And it was like 2004, right? And I used whatever Gmail account I had, which I technically still have. So every
mm.
once in a while, I log in and I still get emails from that website, and I'm like, how are you still alive?
They're not alive. It's just somebody there just to send out the automated to piss you off. Like, oh,
Seriously.
Kevin's checking his email. Let's just throw one in there, throw him off a little
Not,
bit.
not anymore. He's not.
Yeah.
Dude, for the podcast network, I had to make a new email, and I decided not to use Google. I used a different service because it's like
Mm.
encrypted email and it's supposed to be safer. Um, it would not let me receive emails for 2 days because it was supposed to be like a 48-hour security thing, but which is fine. But then that means for 2 days
Yeah.
I couldn't make like I couldn't make a Facebook, I couldn't make an Instagram, I couldn't make anything because I wanted to use that email, which they wouldn't let me use for 2 days. And I'm like, thanks, guys.
It's not just secure, it's super secure.
It's actually so secure that you cannot, like Google, be like, oh, I forgot your password, click this button.
I was
They
about to say.
they don't do that.
They want the blood of your firstborn.
No, so basically, when you make your account, they're like,
Mm.
hey, write down your password. And you're like, okay, I got it. And then you click, like, create account. They're like, no, really, fucking write down your password, god damn it. And then you have a recovery code, which is like
Mm.
a 50-digit thing I saved in a Word document. So basically, if you lose your password, you better have that recovery code. And if you don't, you're just flat out fucked. And they cannot recover the account for you.
I think Facebook has that now too. So you can't get hacked.
Yeah, so basically, it's basically like a security thing. So it's not like because you can kind of get away with things where you can. This actually happened. Do you know the YouTube channel Linus Tech Tips?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
They have like 10 million subscribers, so they're like, small channel, right? And they got hacked a couple years ago because they're based in Canada, right? So the main guy Linus, his phone was fine, but somebody went to like a AT&T store or whoever was his phone provider. They
Mhm.
went into a physical store and said, "Yes, I am Linus. Something blah 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 phone." So then he went to Gmail, would try to sign into like the Linus Media Gmail account, say, "Oh, I forgot my password," and AT&T did no security check and basically said, "Okay, I guess you're Linus." So they sent all the stuff to this
Oh
guy's
God.
phone. So he hacked into like Linus's social media and like his email. So all of a sudden he got hacked, and there's nothing he could have done because that was on whoever the phone carrier was. So like you have human error
God.
and just like dumb computer things.
Do
So
you want Linus's social security number too?
also here's a name of here's a list of all his fears,
Here's his credit card information, all of them.
his address, social
His driver's
security,
license, his
uh,
passport. Just
a list
might
of.
as well just give it him his whole life.
Here's
Just
also a
get it
list of all the
right there.
foods he has allergies to, so you can cook him some lovely bread with peanuts or something. I'm just saying shit.
People are just stupid. I don't understand that. That's the whole point of the reason why they make you go through like your security questions. So if you have to change anything or you forget, you get locked out. But they didn't do that.
Speaking of stupid,
Damn YouTube.
speaking of stupid,
Mhm.
you know who's stupid?
Me.
Us for not having topics.
I mean,
So-
Yeah. See about that.
the only sport that is
Sports.
currently going is NASCAR, which I did watch.
Excuse me, the Bundesliga is back.
I'm not that desperate
I watched
for NASCAR.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
don't knock the Bundesliga.
I don't even know what the hell it is.
I was watching
German
and,
soccer.
all I
There you
care
go.
about is Jimmy Johnson now, and he like wrecked in the first stage. So I was like, yeah, I don't care about this anymore.
I actually used to be into NASCAR years ago.
I was too.
I never was.
Then one day, I was
Gordon.
watching. Yeah, I was all about Jeff Gordon, and then one day I was watching, and I'm like, why the fuck am I watching this? And then I'm like, I remember I like NASCAR. I hated soccer, and I'm like, well, how did that
Did the reversal.
how did that turn? Well, I don't hate NASCAR. I just don't watch it.
It's
Yeah,
boring.
I mean, it's boring to
To me, at
watch.
least. Yeah.
I know my brother and my dad actually went to. I don't remember which race it was. They went to one of the Pennsylvania ones. Was that po- Br- Bristol? Pocono?
What is
Poconos?
Poconos? Yeah,
I think
there's
they
a
actually.
track there.
I Yeah, Poconos is definitely one. I think they went to the Poconos, and they said, and I'm like, how is it in person? And they're like, it's the same thing on TV except very loud.
Thank you. Thank you.
But instead of having commentators talking and give you something to listen to, you just basically hear and that's
Meow.
basically it.
Meow.
Sounds fun.
Meow.
You know, I was actually thinking we can totally reopen Red Bull Arena, have people come in, and it's perfectly safe, and I'll tell you why it's safe. Because nobody fucking goes to Red Bull games besides like me and like six other people, so we have no problem social distancing.
You go on one end of the arena, we'll go on the other.
I love that team, but I can make that joke all day long.
But they know it's true. That's.
At least we have an actual fucking stadium, unlike NYCFC.
I was about to say.
I just wanna go to Six Flags.
Well, at least that we can.
I can't.
Why's that?
I'll have to text it to you. I'm not going to say it over this.
Okay. Uh-oh. Moving along. Moving along.
I don't need them tracking me down.
Awkward silence.
So how are you
What
guys?
did you do? Steal a baboon or something?
No, but that'd be awesome. Why haven't I thought of that?
Can you imagine? Brandon's just like, no, I absolutely didn't do that. No, I didn't. Just like nodding up and down, like, nope.
Are you the one that snuck? Are you the one that snuck in?
Yeah, no.
No. Did you know that there's actually a spa at Hershey you can go to, so you can basically take a bath in chocolate?
Mm.
I want to take a bath in like
We
melted
were
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Rachel and I were talking about like how I want to go to like Cedar Point, and she said we should do it, like, but I was like, she doesn't ride roller coasters anymore.
Yeah.
So I would have to have either you guys come along or something, because like there's
Well,
like
yeah.
what 17 roller coasters there. She'd make it through like one or two.
Was this Hershey you're saying?
Well, Cedar Point more, but
Oh,
Oh,
you
okay.
you have
Hershey we
not.
want to do.
You have not lived. You think you're alive right now. You're not. You're in a figment of your imagination until you go to Cedar Point.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been there, but it probably was like when I was younger.
Have you been to Sandusky, Ohio?
I try to stay out of anything that has Sandusky in the name for obvious reasons.
It's funny because basically there's three reasons to go to Sandusky, Ohio. One is
The showers.
One is Cedar Point. The second, there's a anime convention. I don't remember the name of it, but they do the convention in Sandusky. The third reason, if you want to get murdered. To be fair, I actually don't know anything about the town.
I don't know what the most fun out of those three things.
The murder. It's
Death.
Yeah.
Just balance them out.
That's what I
roller
would say.
coasters, conventions, death. I think I'll take death.
I'm gonna spin the wheel on that one, see where it lands.
It's like Wheel of Fortune, just three giant chunks.
Wheel of misfortune.
You enter the red area that says death, and it's going slow, and you're like, whoop, I'm fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Death again.
Oh, you're bankrupt, and now you're dead. And by the way, everybody you know hates you. But it's okay, because you're going to be fucking dead. Also, can I just say real quick? So I don't know if I'm talking loud or something, but when I mentioned the Hershey spa bathing in chocolate, Katie just texted me, like, take me to the Hershey spa.
The
Seriously, though.
walls have ears.
I think
Seriously.
Rachel would want to go there too.
I mean, who wouldn't want to take a bath in chocolate?
Fair.
Specifically, like peanut butter cups. So like you sit in like a giant tub with like 500 peanut butter cups, and they slowly melt from your body heat. You just get like engulfed in peanut butter.
If you're gonna do that, gotta be the minis.
My favorite thing about the Reese's Minis
Mhm.
is oh, by the way, this is what happens when you don't have topics. You just kind of talk about shit like taking baths in king size Reese's Minis. Did you notice that if you go to like 7-Eleven, like they have Reese's peanut butter cups, Reese's Minis, king size Reese's Minis, and you're like, wait, what?
It's an oxymoron.
It's because the bag is big, but still, you're like, wait a second.
I know.
Reese's Mini.
Yeah.
But pretty soon they're gonna have giant Reese's Junior, and it's like,
Giant
have
Junior Mints.
you know. Oh, here's actually a thing we could talk about. A sports thing. It's old. It's an old topic, but like we haven't talked about it. What did you think about the Ravens NFL draft?
I thought we did pretty
I'd
well.
Give them an A. An A.
An A or an A?
An A.
An A.
It
You
made
did
me
fine.
even more excited.
Made you excited?
Yes. Even the late round picks.
As I sit here in a Patriots jersey.
The late round picks were also very good.
Yeah.
Crochet, or I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I don't know. I've also been sitting in quarantine, so I'm pretty sure my hook on phonics is not suiting me well.
I'm kind of. Am I still
This
sharing
guy-
the screen? By the way,
Crochet has amazing highlights. He went to SMU. It's it's crazy.
is my screen still being shared? By the way, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I forgot everybody the Eagles drafted, so you can continue talking, and I'll pull it up later.
I was about to say,
Wow,
show us your
they
browser
draft-
history.
Jalen Hurts.
I mean, if you want, I got nothing to hide.
Yeah, right.
Me frantically looking at ESPN before calling you.
Hey, man. Easy with that.
So I actually talked about the Eagles draft on my other new podcast, Eagles Flight Weekly, on the Geek Legion Network, now on Spotify. But basically, so we had a couple different picks. The top two, obviously, we have the two Jalen's, Rager and Hurts. Rager was wide receiver. When we got him, a lot of Eagle fans were mad. Or maybe mad is not the right word, but it was kind of like we either wanted Jefferson or we wanted CD Lamb. But we got Rager. But when you look at his stats, dude's fucking fast. He is fucking fast, and he has a really like tall jump. So he can jump high, he can grab the ball, and once he starts running, he's a fucking bullet. So Howie Roseman said the whole point of the Eagles this year was to get young, athletic, and quick. So all the wide receivers we got fucking quick. Watkins, Rager, and Hightower, they're all fucking fast. So assuming Deshaun Jackson doesn't break every bone in his body by week 2, if we still have him, if Alshon Jeffrey is any decent, like anywhere like he was 2 years ago, with all these young kids, Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, we have a whole bunch of potential really good weapons. It may take some time to develop, but we went from using practice squad guys to people who can actually be like competent. So that's a big plus up. The one that everybody's butthurt about, no, as I said, hurt, that's a segue, is Jalen Hurts. Actually, before I get to Jalen Hurts, I think the other reason everybody was mad we got Rager was because we wanted CD Lamb, and he was like within grasp, and then Dallas got him.
Yeah.
So
I haven't done anything with him anyway.
I think if another team, like an irrelevant team, not saying they're irrelevant like they're bad, but irrelevant to the Eagles, if like Jacksonville got like CD Lamb, I don't think we would have been so mad, but it was Dallas.
Yeah.
So like
Sure.
when Dallas got CD Lamb, I imagine Mike, the guitar tech from Guitar Center going like, fuck you, Kevin. Like that's what went through my mind. But then when I calmed down, I'm like, but Rager's good. So Jalen Hurts though, on
Hmm.
depending on what day you ask me, it is good or it's really dumb.
I
So
don't see why it's dumb
because
as an outsider.
it makes sense for the future, I suppose.
Hmm.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like we want weapons, we want like X and Y and Z. So why did he use a second round pick on a quarterback when we have Nate Sudfeld? But in the weeks after the draft, Nate Sudfeld said eventually he wants to lead an NFL team. You gave Wentz all this money, so Wentz is going to be the guy. It's not going to be Nate Sudfeld. So eventually he's going to leave. And then you need a good backup.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was listening to a Philly station a day or two after the draft because I was just streaming it while doing my mail route. And the guy said, "Oh, the Eagles should have just drafted a vet and made him a backup. Get someone like Joe Flacco." And I'm like, "Why do you want Joe Flacco?"
There's a reason we
Yeah,
got rid of him.
Like,
There's
like
all the teams want to be. They're gonna eventually want to go to what the Ravens and Chiefs are doing.
Yeah.
And, like they want a mobile quarterback.
You want
and
someone who
Carson
can-
Wentz was.
You-
And we don't know what he's gonna be like.
I mean, Wentz. I also said this on my podcast. I am going to stick up for him this past season because he got through the whole regular season,
Yeah.
didn't have a problem. He only got injured when a fucking big dude hit him in the head and then his head bounced off the ground. If that happened to anyone, I'm sure they'd be feeling it at least a little bit. So, like, I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass there.
Oh yeah, I was gonna give him a pass too.
All
'Cause
the
he's not a
other
bad QB. He just needs people to give him time.
all the
Do what he
other
needs to do.
injuries in the past, that's all fair game.
Right.
You can criticize him for like, hey, this ACL and this and like a collarbone and I think he had like a back problem. So like that's all fair. That's all concerns. But in my mind, last season he basically got through fine until he got hit in the head, and it wasn't like a little like flick like hit in the head. It was like hit into the head like it was a big one. And then we had Josh McCown come in, who played his heart out, but like it's Josh McCown. So you had Josh McCown come in with a bunch of practice squad guys, and then it's like, so goes that. So we would need a backup because Sudfeld's gonna leave, and then instead of having an old guy like Joe Flacco who probably wouldn't want to be a backup, who isn't gonna be like, admittedly I didn't watch a lot of Joe Flacco. He wasn't very mobile though, right? He was like a pocket passer.
No.
Yeah, he's up there with like the Tom Brady's, Aaron Rodgers.
The difference is Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady can still get away with it.
Oh yeah.
But Flacco, I don't think can anymore.
Yeah, but Rodgers is he's still a pocket QB, but he's a little more mobile
Oh,
than
is he?
Brady.
Mhm.
But but
Well,
he's also younger.
more
so,
than Brady for sure, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
now
Brady doesn't need to. That's
it's all about now.
That's why.
You need somebody who can basically quarterbacks now are basically better Michael Vicks. Michael Vick was
Yeah.
like ahead of his time.
I was about to say he was probably the first one that kind of is doing what like Nick said, the Mahomes and the Lamar Jacksons.
Like I was actually watching a couple Eagle games after with McNabb and then with Vick, and I heard a noise right outside my window. Maybe it's somebody with an axe who's gonna kill me. Ah, the sweet embrace of death. I hear it coming. Okay. So
Don't
like,
shoot the messenger.
no, but I do have a knife, so I'll stab the messenger. Okay, that was my lazy attempt to stab. So when I was watching clips of Vic playing, he was running like a motherfucker, and then he got better with his passing, but it was the Giants game where they were losing like 30 to like 10, and in like 7 minutes they came back to win. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that game.
I feel like I saw that though.
You know what? I can find it on YouTube and show it to you and talk about it. While
Jesus, Nick.
hey, you gotta fill in that dead silence. What? Oh god, don't be loud. Not gonna play any sounds because copyright. Okay, so you can see the video then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so both teams were 9-4. So whoever won, this was a big deal, right? So it's 8-28. In the fourth, Giants are winning 24-10. So let's
Wait,
skip
isn't
ahead.
this the one that he runs the? Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna
Doesn't he
skip ahead
run-
a little bit.
yeah.
So now the Eagles are losing 31-10.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert: it doesn't go how you think it does. So the reason I bring this up is Vic does a lot of. Okay, so they just. Oh, my favorite thing
Tom
is
Coughlin.
Tom Coughlin. Like he just looks like, fuck.
Son of a
You
bitch.
could see him saying fuck.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so Vic, that was
There's
actually
no stopping him.
see that was actually an okay throw by Vic. What's funny about this? Okay, obviously they're gonna do an onside kick because they need the ball. Nobody on the Giants expects it, and they're like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "How do you not expect an onside kick?" They
Yeah,
they
like-
were turning back, expecting a deep kick. It's like, no, of course they're gonna go for an onside kick. And the reason I'm trying to show you some of the passes from Vic, but I don't remember where they go exactly, so I'm kind of just skimming through. But like in this game, you can see signs where Vic can be a good passer, and then times when he totally just fucks up. Like that was an okay throw, right? But then there's a couple times where he throws, and then it just gets batted down because he throws it too low. But then he runs like that, and it's just like, this is in 2010. So we're watching
Okay.
a slightly older Vic do this. I'm not going to go through the whole video because it's going to take too long. But basically, Vic was okay at throwing. He had moments where he was
Yeah.
good and bad. But basically, Lamar now is like Vic, but better.
And Mahomes, but I would probably say more Lamar Jackson than anything else.
Mahomes can move, but like Lamar is like different level.
I was about this, yeah, 'cause he can change right in the moment. Like he just flips a switch on, and he can just change the play into his favor.
Which
It's crazy.
eventually kind of
Mhm.
leads me back to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Because Wentz can definitely move. Like, he
Mhm.
can move, he can scramble, he can do all that. But I don't know if I trust his ability to survive getting hit. Because the second
Yeah.
you're going to scramble and move out of the pocket, you're a target.
It's true.
And then everybody is going to come to, like, take you down. And that's the thing that concerns me. Because let's say we get Jalen Hurts, and then it's like, oh, well, if he's good, maybe we could trade him. To
Mhm.
show he's good, you have to play him.
Right.
So if you're going to play him instead of Wentz, that's kind of wasting Wentz. If you're going to have both of them on the field, are you going to have both of them on the field? Is Hurts going to be throwing to somebody else? If he is, then Wentz is a target. And do you want to put your franchise quarterback with injury, like with his history, make him a target? I don't. So like
No.
that's kind of my concern.
Yeah.
But
You would see what Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick had in common, and I'll even throw Mahomes in, is they're built like a different position. You know what I mean? They have pure muscle.
oh yeah,
So it's a lot harder for them to be taken down. I mean, it happens. They do get tackled, but they
No.
can go further and take those hits because they're fast enough so those hits come rarely to them. So right there, they're going to have a long life, and that's what these teams need to look at. I have no problem with them trying to go the route with the Vicks and Lamar Jackson type QBs, but they have to understand that it's not just the player, it's the coaching, it's the teammates around them. They all have to be ready to have that kind of QB on their team and to be able to utilize those types of plays. It's not just going to work just by drafting a QB that you think can do all that. The whole
you have
dynamic
to-
needs to function.
You
Yeah.
have to build around the
Yeah.
player too. You have
Exactly.
to, like, the Ravens have tight end second block,
hmm
and they have a great O line. So
Yeah.
it's just you have to build the whole team, and
Pardon?
it's just not the one guy.
part of me feels like
Exactly.
that's something where Philly can do a slightly better job. Because like it's a catch-22 because Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz have this like real tight like bond they got. So like 2 years ago, it was the 2018 season. Zach Ertz broke like all these crazy offensive records in like Eagles history, because basically Wentz only threw to Ertz and like no one else. And I'm like, he's a really, really good tight end. He can catch, he can run, but he's your tight end. You should have him block sometimes too. And I feel like that would help keep Wentz standing upright. Or if he does scramble, have Ertz there to like block. And he does block, but he's also out there catching a lot.
Yeah.
Like out of tight ends, he is really active.
Yeah. I mean, and aside from the obvious with the Ravens, the reason why Lamar also worked was in his first year, he was shadowing Flacco. Now, as far as QB skills, people may not, see him as a good QB to shadow, but as far as like being able to give advice, like Flacco would definitely be a good coach.
Yeah.
Because he's really the one that told him, like, hey, you're probably not going to want to run every pass. You're going to want to learn how to use your arm. I mean, obviously he didn't say it like that, but he more or less told him, like, you're going to need to be able to pass. So he had that, and then they also they got Ingram. And Ingram has definitely been a big help for him, too.
I was trying to find a funny picture of Patrick Mahomes, but I couldn't find it.
They're all fine. Look at his face.
Flacco knows the game. He was not performing,
Yeah.
He knew what he had to do. It's just
he's also a good hype man, Ingram.
Oh, that's a shame. There was a picture of Mahomes getting tackled, and basically his face was on the ground after like a really big hit, and he just had this completely blank expression on his face, and it said, "What Madden curse?" But I can't find it. It's a shame. Shame. Oh well. So it sounds like you were pretty satisfied with your draft. Overall, I was satisfied with the Eagles. We needed wide receivers. We got 3. We traded for another one. I forgot his name because I'm a douchebag. The heck was his name? The second I see it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just Google wide receivers because I'm way too lazy. Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is decent. He's decent.
The thing was, I forgot what his deal was, but basically his deal was so good for Philly that if it doesn't turn out, it's like, it doesn't really hurt them. So I'm cool with that. And also, he's fast. So we got a lot of fast people, which is good. Cool. Now, I haven't spent too much time paying attention to this, but Nick, maybe you have. Apparently for baseball, they've been talking about, like, I was talking to my dad about this actually earlier today. Apparently MLB is considering cutting the season in half to like 80 games.
It's like 82 or something like that.
Yeah, there's talk like that. It's just whether or not they will agree on the money part of it. That's the big thing. Like the players, Blake Snell came out and said, like, he basically explained how he's putting his life on the line by playing, so he wants to get paid more than what they were going to say, complaining that he's getting a pay cut, but it's not really a pay cut.
No, you're getting paid for those games. A lot of players, they're coming forward, they want to be paid for a full season. It's like you're out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah,
a lot of these...
You're not playing a full season. Why would you?
The league's not making money, so they can't pay you the same amount.
Yeah, and also look at the NHL too, and it's also in the MLB too. A lot of them, their clubs, they had to lay off a lot of people. I don't mean like players, I just mean like staff in general, like people that would run their concessions, all that. So they're not like the franchise itself isn't getting paid. So how do you think you're going to get paid?
Yeah. The baseball's the least of the major sports. It's like the least contact.
Yeah.
Like hockey and basketball is the one that have to worry about.
My God,
risking their life.
basketball especially. Fucking sweaty basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're fun. You haven't heard any news about maybe a few of them, but like second this came out, they just shut down, and then they talked and they're discussing what they're going to do going forward, if they even bring back a season and when that would be. But At least everybody's all on the same page. They're discussing it. MLB just seems like everybody's scattered. NHL, they're all on the same page. Football, I haven't really heard too much of a conversation of what they'd like to do, but their season usually starts later anyway, so they can make it work somehow.
Even MLS is pretty like pretty on like pretty on point what they want to do.
Mm. Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Premier League would probably suffer more, right?
Yeah, I mean Premier League just in terms of like I believe even though Premier League is obviously Europe, I believe Premier League gets a lot of television stuff in the United States, like a lot of like
Yeah.
ratings. Um, so no Premier League hurts.
Mm.
But with Bundesliga coming back, that's a big league. It's the German one, and
Nah.
them playing. That's it's kind of like the way I view like NBA was the first one to say, okay, no, we're done now officially. We're suspending,
Mm.
and then everybody's like,
Yeah.
now we suspend too. It's very possible that like we just need
Yeah.
one of the big guys to say, okay, this is how we're going to reopen. This is the plan, and then I feel like everybody except baseball is going to be like, cool, this is the plan. What worries me about baseball, how do you think it would damage the sport of baseball if there's no season because they can't agree on money?
That's really bad because they would be the first one
Yeah.
back.
Because
They would be
like
the
It's
first one
true.
back.
if a season
Mm.
is called because of like, you know, it actually happened in the NHL. They pulled the
Mhm.
plug on a Stanley Cup because of I think
2005, it was a
well there was a
lockout.
lockout and that hurt, but in like the early 1900s I think there was like this like a maybe it was the Spanish flu outbreak.
Mm.
There was some kind of flu outbreak, like
Yeah.
not all that much different from today, and
1918, I think, was a Spanish flu.
maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, the NHL basically just said screw it, just no Stanley Cup. And like it sucked. It sucks, but like
It's
that's
happened a few years, but they
that's
were all in agreement.
Mm.
because of like health reasons, and that's one
Oh
thing.
yeah.
If baseball just doesn't play because they can't agree on money, that's gonna hurt.
Well, I said it. Like it's gonna happen. Like unless they can come to an agreement to resolve this, it's gonna end in a lockout for the MLB. And for what? Because people think that they deserve more money than others.
You know,
It's just it should be just for the love of the sport, but that'll never happen with the MLB.
it's funny.
Hate to say it.
When I was going through my desk the other day, I was cleaning up stuff and organizing papers I kind of collected, and I found the original schedule for Phillies games that my dad gave me. How he was originally like my dad does that like marathon run in Philly, and he gets Phillies tickets.
Mm.
And I found that schedule. I'm like, oh yeah, we were supposed to be at this game like a month ago. Oh yeah. It's like, man,
That's funny.
I miss stuff like that.
Mm.
But then this begs the next question. Ooh, I'm good with segues today.
Uh-oh.
Everybody's talking about the new normal.
Mhm.
So we could keep limit it to sports. We could go like bigger, however you want to answer it. What do you think the new normal will be whenever it is here?
I think
I'm
masks
not
are definitely going to
changing.
be.
I'm not really gonna change much. I think it's just gonna be more people are gonna be on edge more often.
I think
Probably.
for the next year or two, people are just gonna be pretty like on edge about bacteria. Which don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, you should always wash your fucking hands. You should be clean.
They
But
were supposed to do that.
we were supposed to do that anyway. So hopefully people continue to do that. I,
Clean your
I
hands.
think for like small things, like for example, if somebody has a cold a year or two from
Mm.
now, like in Japan, if somebody is sick or potentially sick, they wear face masks
Yeah.
because like they still have to go out and do things, but it's like they don't necessarily always stay home if it's like a cold. From what I know, I think it's like colds or whatever. Basically, if they're sick but they have to go out, they wear a mask. But we don't do that here. So like I think maybe in the future, if somebody's sick, I think maybe we're wearing masks a little bit more often because like I always kind of got the vibe if you saw somebody who was Asian and they wear a face mask if they're sick because they're used to it. I feel like people probably gave them looks like, why are they wearing a mask? But I feel like we
That makes
probably
sense.
we probably would wear a mask. Yeah, we're probably just now realizing things like Japan has known for like 100 years. Like, you guys are fucking dumb. We're
I was about
probably
to
just
say
now.
they've always been ahead of us,
They're ahead
like
of us in
as a country as a whole.
as
Yeah,
society,
yeah.
technology, basically everything.
I mean, really,
Yeah,
if you really think about it,
me and Katie want to visit Japan so bad.
just not now.
I'm not
Well,
going to China.
we were
Mm,
planning to
that's for
visit.
sure.
We were really hoping not this
China.
year, but maybe like next
China.
year or like the year after. Like, we'll see how everything goes. But like, I want to
I would
visit.
definitely love to do that. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, because like I like to visit other places. Like, visiting Ohio was cool, seeing Boston was cool. But like when you think about it, like how fucking crazy would it be to be on like the other side of the world in like a completely different culture? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that too. I mean, because aside from like going on cruises, I haven't really been out of the country.
I've
But like a
never.
cruise, you're only there for like maybe a day at most.
I have
Depending.
been to Canada when I was younger.
Mm.
We were at Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, which looked like a little like mini Las Vegas. It had like lights and stuff.
Yeah, they have a casino over there too.
And then we went to Toronto, and we were supposed to leave on like a certain day, but then my
Mm.
dad extended the trip by like a day or two because turns out the Toronto Blue Jays were going to be coming back to play a home game at what was at like back then called the Sky Dome. And
Mhm.
that's
Oh,
the
I don't
hotel
remember that.
we were staying at, the Sky Dome, but they were
That's awesome.
away. And then my
Mm.
dad was like, "Wait, they're gonna be home in like a day or two," and the room is available. So we ended up seeing a Blue Jays game from the hotel window.
That's awesome.
So like that's one of those things. So I'm like, as a kid, I thought it was cool, but like whatever. And now when I look back, I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, that's epic. I
Thanks,
don't.
Dad.
Thanks, Dad. That's my creepy voice. I'll be talking to my friends, like I'll use Discord sometimes during the day just to help me pass time when I'm on my route and I'll be talking to people, and then one of them will say something, and I'll just do like a creepy like laugh like just in response because it's funny, but then I don't think about it and I'm just like, there's probably kids in their house looking at me, probably like, Mom, the mail guy's making weird noises again. They just see me with their mail packages going. I wonder how many people think I'm really weird. I should probably not do that.
All of us now.
I mean,
We're
it's
all
true
weird.
though. It's true. I am. Um,
That's why I love people talk about like what the new normal is going to be. I was like, wait, we were normal before. Like,
I think in terms of just like society, I think people just be more mindful of like bacteria, washing their hands, maybe wearing masks if they're sick. What I'm really curious is how it's going to affect going to like concerts or like games or whatever. I was listening to a podcast. It was a Red Bulls podcast, and it was the general manager. And they had like a plan of how they're going to improve the stadium and things. And he was pretty transparent, and he's like, "Hey, listen, right now all these other plans they go to the back burner. We're focusing on safety now," which makes sense. And then he was so earlier I was making fun of the Red Bulls how they don't sell tickets and like nobody goes. So
Mhm.
on the second level of the stadium, in the back, they actually had some red like tarps covering some of the seats because they were always empty. And the first game we went to this year, they had a like whole section just completely covered, so you didn't see the seats. So like they've been blocking off seats and slowly adding because they can't fill the stadium. So he was like, maybe we take the tarps off. Maybe we spread people across the stadium so they're not like right next to each other. And I'm kind of like, but I want to be right next to people. That's half the fun. Like, especially if you go to like a Red Bull game. Like you go in the supporter section where I am. Like Brandon, I showed you the videos of
Yeah.
like Nick. Have I shown you any of the videos of like the supporter section of Red Bull games?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Okay, so you
And
see
yeah,
how like we all have like flags and smoke, and it's like completely nuts. So
yeah.
like if the idea is, oh well, maybe we'll just take everybody and separate them across the stadium. It's like, but I want to be right next to them.
Yeah, well,
Like I'll have a
Um,
problem if that like, if I can't do that. Like I'm gonna actually have a problem. I'm like I don't know if I'm gonna go.
I don't know. It's I I don't really see myself being that different. I'd still shake people's hands. Not going to be
yeah.
crazy. Obviously, I'll be respectful for people who are still like getting over it or whatever. But
Yeah, I mean, I think
still gonna go to Six Flags. I mean,
oh yeah, like I'm still
still going there.
the way I view this is also the same way I view like other things that are like scary. Like a I don't know how you guys were, but like September the 9/11 attacks really made a big like completely changed my life. Like Nick, probably not for you cuz you're a good amount younger.
I was like 2 years old,
And Brandon, I don't know in your
almost.
case how it affected you.
It did. It affected me. My father was in the city, couldn't get out, and
Mm,
just seeing the way he was and seeing like him telling me like what he saw. I mean, of course, it was years later when he could talk about it,
yeah.
but it definitely affected us because he was never the same.
So I
He just now is kind of getting over it.
yeah. So the reason I bring up 9/11 is cuz I was in 5th grade and
Mm.
I have really bad memory. That's one of my problems. I don't know why my memory's so bad. Like I don't remember things from 2 days ago sometimes. But I remember that day like a picture. It was we were talking about a book, and specifically the book was about a boat that was on top of a cliff, and the teacher was asking us how could a boat get on top of the cliff, and then we had like a little intercom system, so we'd hear like a beep over the intercom, let you know like, hey, like we're gonna contact you in like a couple seconds, and then you would hear the office say like, oh, would Connie insert last name here please come home, please come to the office to be dismissed. And we were just like, oh, like, wow, that's weird. Because this was like maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. And I believe for me, school started like at 9 or like maybe a few minutes before. So we were in class for like maybe an hour. And then like 10 minutes after that, her friend Stephanie also got dismissed. But the two of them always, like, if one was going, the other one always did. So that wasn't a big deal. But then like 20 minutes later, I got dismissed. And I was like, wait, what? And that was all the parents coming to the school to pick us all up. So
Yeah.
then where my mom picked me up, doesn't tell me why, on the way to the middle school to get my brother, not telling me why, but my brother Brian, he knew. In his middle school, they actually announced over the intercom what happened. So everybody in the middle school knew. I didn't. And then mom just took us inside, brought us to the TV. It was CNN, and like I remember all this stuff. So like that affected me way more than I guess like because like I watch the news and I get very political. It all stems from that, and like even now like a couple years ago, Star Wars Episode 7 came out. Like what was that, 2015? And I went with my two friends Adam and Matt. So we went up to the top row, which is where our seat was, and then immediately we sat down and looked like here's an exit, here's an exit. We can probably climb up into the projector room if we need to. Like we planned all these things in case someone comes in with a gun. What do we do? And it's like I still kind of have that in me sometimes, where it's like because of 9/11 and things you hear on the news, like like it changes how I view things. Like I'll go to a concert, and yeah, the second going to the concert, I take a look and I'm like, okay, here's all the ways I can get out, and I don't. So like, I do that, but at the same time, I don't let the potential fear of something happening stop me from going in the first place.
Yeah.
So like, if I want to
That makes
see
sense.
if I want to see this band play a show, I'm gonna go. If
Yeah,
something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I can't have that make me not go. Basically, that's how I view this virus. Like, as soon as we can like live our lives again, I'm going to. Like, I won't be
Yeah.
dumb. I'm not gonna lick. I'm not gonna lick countertops at Quick Check.
oh, why not?
I mean, you want
You
you
know what?
want you want to lick them
That's where
because
all the flavors
that's
You
at.
know
where all
what
the
I wonder?
flavors. We had the same
You know what?
idea. High
I
five.
wonder, and this is kind of just like just basically for us.
Yeah.
I wonder how long, once Guitar Center opens, how long it is until we start taking used gear in again.
True.
I wonder if
True.
we're not going to do that for a while.
I mean,
Not my problem.
doesn't seem like, because I've been checking the U site, it doesn't seem like anybody has posted anything new, like any locations.
Well, I mean, I
and
don't
I'm going
think,
by West because they were the first ones to open up and do
Yeah.
the curbside.
Actually,
So I haven't seen anything new.
when I
Like the same
actually
stuff.
check our store, like used inventory, if I don't even see anything.
We do now. There's one. At least what I've seen is there's one JP6.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's once a vaccine's out.
Which
I know
probably
that
what
might
it is.
sound crazy, but
We're
like,
not we're not gonna have a vaccine for like probably
Yeah.
18 months probably.
yeah,
Well, there's one that works. They're gonna test it and make sure that. But
Because that's
like Kevin said, and that's like lowballing 18 months.
like I know Trump was saying like, oh, Trump's like you're gonna working on it and we're gonna have one soon. It's like no, no.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't. He probably doesn't know how to tie his shoes.
And the
Like,
problem is that he
can you
fires
imagine?
everybody.
Can
that
you
does
imagine
know.
like Trump is trying to tie his shoes and like his like
He wears Velcro.
his knot keeps getting undone. He's just like fake news. These shoelaces are made from China. They don't hold. They're no good. It's fake. Ugh.
He can't even tie his flip flops. Yeah.
It's like he goes to his wife. He's just like, listen, these shoes just don't tie, Melania. What am I doing? And she's like, the Velcro. You can't tie Velcro. And he's just like, listen, I'm the fucking president. I can do what I want. I can't do his voice right now, so I'm not even really trying. I'm just kind of doing like a raspy.
Huge.
Huge.
Got little hands.
Little jazz hands. Can you, if Trump was a dinosaur, he would be a T-Rex because he has little hands.
Yeah, and a big
little
head.
hands.
Can you imagine the giant, like,
Hands.
imagine like watching Jurassic,
Huge.
like imagine watching like the first Jurassic Park, where like they're stuck in the little jeeps that are like when the power goes out, they're stuck in the middle of like the open in like that thunderstorm, and like the T-Rex
They
shows up
go-
and it's Trump's face, and he's just like, China,
China.
and he's just chasing like China.
China.
China. My God. I also, me and Katie, we only did like two or like I think one or two. We photoshopped Trump's head over Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. So if you know who Palpatine is, he's like the big evil dude, and we put Trump's face. So like when you have
Right.
Palpatine shooting
Is
lightning,
that him?
what's that?
Do it.
Do it, do it.
That's him, right?
Yeah, that's him. Oh, I was watching. There's a funny video. Do you know the Game Grumps on YouTube? Video game Let's Players,
Heard of
basically.
it.
So they play video games, but they're funny on their own merit. So like they'll be playing a game, but half the time they're not even talking about the game. They're just like funny. So somehow they mentioned Star Wars Episode 3, and they did the do it thing that like Palpatine did, and they were making fun of it. So they just imagined all the different things Palpatine would say. So they were just like, Palpatine, my pencil broke. What'd I do? Glue it. And just like all these ridiculous things. And my favorite one was, Palpatine, what do we do with all this day-old meat? Stew it. And he was just like, oh hey, Emperor Palpatine, we're going to go into Shabbat. Is it okay if we say the Lord's Prayer? And he's like, Jew it.
Oh my god.
And they just kept going and going. And I'll send you the link, and it's really funny. Like, it's much funnier when they do it, because the one of the guys does a much better Palpatine voice than I do. I can basically just go do it, and that's about it. it's a shame that that scene is like a meme now because that's actually a really good scene in the movie. But now everybody just makes fun of it because of do it,
Do it.
do it. I mean, we're making fun of it because it is funny. It's funny because of just how out of the blue it is. He's just like, good Anakin, good. Kill him now. Do it. It's like, why did you say do it so weird? But still a good scene. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. This is what, yeah. We,
Fucking scream in the mic.
No, I'm not gonna scream. I want to see if there's anything else we should talk about. I just wanted just to do a
Did you
thing.
want to talk about the
we
Brady?
touched
and,
on
Gronk?
mostly everything in sports world.
Yeah, actually, we probably should talk about that. So, Tom Brady is no longer a Patriot. And here's the thing that gets me. Here, specifically, my question. Now, I know you said Steph is like an actual Patriots fan. So, like,
Yes.
fine.
And I have her answers.
Okay. So, like, this, it's not really. I was just asking because I was generally curious about her opinions. But for, like, all the people who just rooted for, like, the Patriots because, oh, they just win and I just want to watch them. I wonder how many people are still going to watch them.
Probably going to be. Well, they're probably. A lot of them are going to jump ship, probably. It's usually how that goes.
I think it depends on what they do.
Yeah.
If they stick with what's his face, I don't know his name, the quarterback.
Man, that's the problem New England has. Can you imagine on like the first?
I'm sorry, their backup sucks.
Can you just imagine
if they stick with him?
Yeah.
Nobody watches. They sign Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah.
I think people will be like, okay, maybe.
Okay, I mean, if they sign,
I don't really know though if he would fit their dynamic.
Yeah, but it's going to be a whole new thing.
I don't know.
Maybe Bill Belichick wants to try it. Maybe he's.
I mean,
like, hey.
if New England,
I just mean in general, I don't know how he's going to mesh with the other guys there. I really don't.
If New England gets someone big like Cam Newton, Cam Newton's still going to bring eyeballs.
The Ravens should go after him. I was like, why? Why do we need? We don't need Cam Newton.
The Eagles should get Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I'd
rather sign him again.
I honestly think they should trade RG3 and then keep Trace McSorley as a backup.
Yeah,
Geno
I'm
Smith.
surprised they haven't done that already.
Like Trace McSorley is actually I want to see him play in the preseason.
Watch.
He seems like he'd be pretty good.
Watch. This is the year Miami goes like 13-3.
It's possible. They have a crazy draft.
They did. Yeah. Like I'm only saying,
really
like,
possible that I mean, it's probably going to be Buffalo, but second place is up for grabs. I think. I think it depends on if Tua is like okay and he gets the starting job.
So so that's actually a good another good segue. So for some quarterbacks who are going into like year 3, if I'm correct, like Sam Darnold, right? Year 3. Was Josh Allen? Is this his 3rd year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Josh Allen, he's on Buffalo, right? Or no, am I thinking of someone else?
Josh Allen is Buffalo.
Okay, right. So Josh Allen had a pretty good second year, I would say, right? Because Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they a playoff team?
I don't remember. I think they were.
Who, Buffalo?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were. I think they might have lost.
I think they made wild card.
Wait.
No, because it wasn't New England.
It was Patriots Titans, right?
Oh yeah.
It was definitely Patriots Titans.
Patriots lost to Miami, and they.
I think Buffalo almost made it.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Buffalo made it.
Buffalo definitely made it, but I just don't remember if they, like.
The Patriots were not. The Patriots played the Titans, so they were one of the seeds, wasn't it? But weren't the Colts too?
I think so.
Just look up the bracket from last year.
Anyway.
I'm trying to find.
Yeah, but like, so Josh Allen played pretty good. They had a good second year. Sam Darnold kind of went backwards. Baker Mayfield is like a dumpster fire. So if you're
That's fair.
so like, how much time do you give like Baker Mayfield and like?
Buffalo played Houston. And
Yeah, they
Did
lost
they?
to Houston, right?
They lost by 3.
So if you're some of these teams, like you're the Jets with Sam Darnold. Now Darnold, he got mono, and then that threw his whole season because he if he got tackled with mono, he could have potentially died. So like he couldn't work out, he couldn't do anything. So that screwed him up. But like if you're the Jets with Sam Darnold, if you're the Browns with Baker Mayfield, like how much leash do you give these guys before you start looking at like other options? What do you think?
I think the Jets are pretty set on not Josh Allen, Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Um, it's just whether or not they can get
a team.
people to help him.
Yeah.
And I don't know about that. Oh, another thing today, I'm pretty sure Jamal Adams was mad that they weren't gonna give him like a contract extension or something,
Oh yeah.
and he was reportedly wanted a trade. It's kind of big, but I'm pretty sure. I heard it on the Michael K show.
Bleacher Report.
Imagine
Jamal.
if the Ravens could pull off and get Jamal Adams. They'd be fucking
Jeez.
deadly.
Sources
They'd
told.
be deadly.
This is from Bleacher Report. So, sources told me today the Jets have given no indication they will sign All-Star safety Jamal Adams to a new contract. Want to wait to make decision. He wants contract now. Stalemate has caused friction, and sources say trade is very possible. It's expected half the teams will call the Jets. Adams going to 4th season, and Jets exercised 5th-year option for 2021. Unlikely any team makes trade without long-term contracts. My
Uh-oh.
battery's dying, but you can still hear me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'll switch to the battery. Yeah. So
This is going to turn into another Le'Veon Bell situation when he was still with Pittsburgh.
now,
That's what that's going to.
okay, so that's actually another Jets question. Do you think it's
Bell?
yeah? Okay, he obviously he's a talent, like, but
Yeah.
it seems what's his face, Adam Gase, right?
Mhm.
He seems to have something against him, like he doesn't want to use him. So,
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
what do you think? You think they're gonna hold on to him for like another little while? What do you think
I
they're gonna
mean,
do?
they've lost every other tool that they've had so far. So losing him, then that pretty much sealed the Jets' fate.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were to lose him, that would seal their fate.
True. You guys could barely see me, right? I just had the little tiny
You
screen.
got black right there.
Yeah, but
I changed it so I was able to see you.
oh, okay.
You can like mess with the screen stuff.
I was trying to
If
figure
you
out
go
how
to
to.
grid view, you could slide yourself around. You
Yeah,
could switch it around.
but
Look at that.
I could slide myself, but I was always just like a little tiny.
No, I saw it. I was able to see you.
Because my battery just died, so like I can change it, but it won't let me grow my window. Oh my god, I'm a fucking moron. Okay, I guess I guess I
Way
can
to go,
change.
Kev.
We
It's
know
okay.
for next time.
I only figured it out, an hour 20 minutes in.
Now we know
No
for
biggie.
next time.
No
Yeah.
biggie. You know what? I don't know. I give up. I give up.
I just see black right now, though, for you, Kev, just so you know.
Yeah, because the battery died. I didn't
Okay.
change. I didn't change the battery. Because
Good thing we got through most of the stuff we could talk about anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I gotta talk about.
We should definitely come up with stuff beforehand. next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
You see, the problem I have is now when I'm at work, it's like either I'll think of something, I'll be like, "Oh, that's a good idea," and then I forget about it, or I'm just too busy, and then I don't have a chance to think about it, and then my brain's just like, hey, I just started this network. I did 2 other podcasts. We got to get back into it. And then it's like, fuck, what do we talk about? Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll actually think of stuff. Instead of changing the battery, I'm too lazy. We can just call it for now.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot.
We talked,
We have an hour.
considering we had literally nothing to talk about, we talked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. And from a technical standpoint, I just need to plug in my camera next time and grow the fucking window.
I mean, I have it so I can see your screen. I can see your camera and Brandon's camera.
Yeah, I can do that now. But the problem is, since I'm recording the video on my end,
Mm.
I need to be able to see it, which now I know I can. But too late.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, so next time we do this, we'll actually try to plan stuff in advance. This was
Yeah.
kind of impromptu, kinda. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, hey,
I
let's do it. And then like, okay, cool. God, you should see all the cables I have on my bed. This is a nightmare. Okay.
I think I see them.
Oh, sure, let me just rotate my camera so you can see them. Yeah, so I guess that's it. So,
Screen
see,
session.
oh, I don't you just love that? I'm gonna just have the video to slowly zoom in on this. I'm just gonna move my mouse so you can see like my mouse tail.
I can see the far back now.
I can see everything.
It's endless loop.
Especially when you move it. Like, look at that.
Oh god, that's trippy.
Woo! Uh-oh.
Well,
Uh-oh. I broke it. Okay, it's there you
Nice
go.
background.
Yeah, don't you like it? It's a nice background, isn't it?
Love it.
Okay. Oh, see everybody next time on the BKN podcast with
Bye.
actual topics. Woo.
Yay.
Geek Legion Network.